to point out that the analogy isn't mine. It's not something it's adapted from a strategy that was devised in the late 1990s by two physicists, Sandy Popescu and Daniel Rowe. And they were trying to understand the implications of this quantum property of entanglement. And I'll come back at the end to what it was that they were exploring. Now, I think some people have the impression that this is just a very complicated way of talking about entanglement. It's not doing it. This analogy is actually doing something a bit important happening. But I'll talk first of all about what entanglement is. It's what happens when any two quantum particles interact. And what results from that is that those particles, once they've interacted, they are entangled, and it means that their quantum states are interdependent. There's a correlation between them, so that if one is in a particular state, then the other one has some other particular state, depending on the kind of entanglement that they have. So the classic example would involve, say, two electrons. And electrons have a quantum property called spin, which you don't need to know anything about other than the spin of an electron can have two values. It's a bit like a heads or tails. An electron can be spin up or spin down. And if the electrons become entangled, then this may create a situation where those two spins are correlated such that if one of the electrons has a spin up, then the other one must have a spin down. Now, this is a prediction of quantum mechanics, and it was pointed out, this phenomenon of entanglement can happen. It was pointed out by Albert Einstein in 1935. He figured that there was something wrong about it. I explained it before, how we can think about entanglement in some ways. There's correlation between the two states of electrons. In some ways, it's a bit like having two gloves, a left-hander and a right-hander. Now, imagine that you have those two gloves and you send them out to two people, different sides of the world maybe, and these two people, we're going to meet them again shortly, and they know that these two gloves are a pair. And so as soon as Alice receives her glove and opens the package and finds she has a left-handed glove, then she knows right away that Bob must have the right-handed glove because there is a correlation between them. There's nothing magical about how she gets that information. It's simple logic. However, here's the complication of quantum mechanics. Because Niels Bohr, who pioneered early quantum mechanics, suggested that in the case of quantum particles, it's not the fact that they have this property, whatever it is, spin, whatever, all the time. They only have that property with a fixed value when we observe it. So for these two entangled photons, we think of sending those out to Alice and Bob. Bohr said, while they're going out, they don't have a fixed orientation of their spin. All we can say is that those spins are correlated. So if Alice then measures her electron and finds it has spin up, then Bob will have spin down. But that spin wasn't determined until Alice measured it. This is where Einstein felt there was a problem with entanglement, because it seemed to indicate the act of Alice measuring the electron spin somehow affected Bob's spin, so that once Alice had found the spin had to be spin up, somehow as Einstein said, that seems to sort of transmit some kind of influence to Bob's spin to make sure that it was spin down. Equally, have measured her electron found that it had spin down, which they often spin up. So there seems to be this, what I call a simply action at a distance by Bohr's idea of quantum mechanics. Einstein and his colleagues, Podolsky and Rosen, suggested in 1935 that actually there has to be some alternative to this, because simply action at a distance shouldn't be allowed in physics. Einstein had shown that it isn't possible for any signal, any information to be transmitted faster than light. You can't have an instantaneous action at a distance. There has to be some time for a signal to span the distance. And so Einstein suggested that what must be going on instead is that all the time these two electrons electrons had some property that somehow fixed it in the core. It's just that it was a property that we couldn't measure. We called them invariable. So you couldn't find out in any experiment which of the two possible spins Alice's electron had that would go towards it. But nevertheless, it was fixed. And so that then reduces the situation to being like a left-handed and right-handed glove, which were left-handed and right-handed all along. So there's two possibilities for what entanglement was about: Bohr's view and Einstein. The trouble was, there was no distinguishing between them because they both predicted the same outcome, which was that we would measure, Alice and Bob would measure that there are these correlations that exist between the spins of these two entangled electrons. How do we know if that's due to hidden variables or due to something else that Bohr was suggesting? That changed in 1964 when Irish physicist John Bell suggested an experiment that was in that case, at that stage, it was just a thought experiment that said would allow us to distinguish between these two possibilities. John Bell's experiment that these boxes, these quantum boxes, are mimicking. Personally, I've never seen an explanation of John Bell's experiment that is easy to follow. So instead of trying to explain John Bell's experiment, that's what these boxes are for. So here's how this box analogy works. There are these two boxes. They're machines, slot machines, into which you can put a coin and set. So you can put in either, they will take either £1 coins or £2 coins. And out will come one of two kinds of toy, either a rabbit or a dog. And there are particular rules for each kind of machine, so that if you put in, it will tell you if you put in a certain coin, then you will get out a certain animal. Okay, we have to figure out combinations of which coins for certain kind of animals in order to satisfy three rules. I'm just going to postulate these rules, but of course they've actually been carefully chosen so that they replicate the kind of situation that quantum mechanics are found in comparison experiment. The rules go as follows. The first rule is very simple, that if Alice puts in a £1 coin into her box, it will spit out a rabbit. The second rule is that if both Bob and Alice put in £2 coins into their boxes, then the boxes will produce one rabbit and one dog. It doesn't matter which way round backwards that they will have that combination. The third rule is that any other combination of coins, other than two £2 coins, will produce either two or two dollars. So we have to find inputs and outputs and satisfy these three rules. What can they do? Well, let's work through them. We know already what of Alice's box has to be a £2 coin, has to be a rabbit. That's the first rule. Now, when you think about it, this means no matter which coin, whether a £1 or £2 belongs to his box, it has to produce also a rabbit. That's because if Alice produced a rabbit with £1, then the only way we can get a dog is that they both put in £2. So Alice already put in £1, so Bob's box has to produce a rabbit in both of those cases with £1 or £2. So we've already figured out what our rules have to be. So all we need to figure out now is what a £2 coin in Alice's box will produce. Well, let's think about it. If he puts in a £2, Bob puts in a £2 too. So the second rule says that two £2 must produce a rabbit and a dog. So that must mean that £2 in Alice's box produces a dog, and we satisfied the second rule. The trouble with that is that those outputs violate the rules in another case. Because for a £1 and a £2, we've got this combination of rabbit and dog, but we're only meant to get that if they both produce. So for one time out of the 4 possible permutations, the rules are violated. And no matter how you try and do this, no matter how you try and think of different combinations, you will find that you can never do better 3 times out of 4. Now, if you think that you have found a solution to satisfy these 3 rules all the time, in all 4 cases, it's probable that you've come up with a solution like this one. A solution in which, let's say, Alice's box alters its output depending on which coin Bob put in. There is no physical way, if these boxes are unconnected, there is nothing that passes between them. There is no physical way in which we can build anything that does that, that somehow magically or telepathically knows what the other person has put into their box. So that's not going to work. However, there is a way that we can allow that to happen, which is that we produce a physical connection between the boxes that sends a signal between them, so that Bob's box, for example, receives a signal telling it what Alice has put into her box, and then it might alter its output accordingly. It's perfectly possible. The mechanism like that. The trouble with that is that Bob has to wait until the signal is received from Alice's box. So until she's put in her coin, the signal has been sent. He has to wait until that happens before he puts in his coin so that his box knows.
Yo, what is good, everybody? Happy Hump Day. Happy Wednesday to you. Halfway to the weekend. Who's ready to make a little bit of noise? We're going to work inside of Serum 2 today. We're going to cook up some new sounds. And it'll probably kind of skew towards the techno side of the spectrum. We're going to be doing a series of videos here shortly on Serum 2 and some techno stuff over the next, I don't know, a couple of months, a few months, something like that, over on the Ghost Tech channel. So I figured a good way to kick it off would be to make some sounds. So if y'all got requests or questions or anything like that, ideas you want explored, do that together. I am going to go ahead and put an end to this background noise here and fire up Serum. Also just gonna put these guys down. Made some weird, wild stuff this morning for the intro music. All right, so we are going to, well, let's just not have that big of a... All right, cool. So into Serum. Like I said, we're going to start off with some like techno-y type stuff. Not exactly sure what to do first. Maybe we'll start with the bass and we'll work our way into more interesting things as we progress. Okay, so we've got, I'm just going to keep this at a fairly simple spot, 140 BPM. I was saying in the last stream, I haven't had a chance to fully explore every single one of the wavetables in here yet, like all of the factory sounds to work with inside of the oscillators, even though it's been out months now, right? I think there's still a few that I have not. So I might get excited at some point when we find one that sounds pretty tasty that I haven't found yet. Okay, so I want to, let's see here, start with this no fun try saw square. Ooh, let's turn up our volume so we can hear better. Okay, we have sound. These this smooth interpolation function feels so good. It feels so good. I'm just going to drop this down a bit. That's nice. Okay. Let's grab something maybe a little more squarey. Let's see. feels like it's got multiple voices in it. Yeah. All right, let's go maybe this guy here. Beefy. What are you guys working on this week? Always interested to hear what you guys are cooking. All right, let's add something. Go. We'll filter action set up here. I mean, it already starts to sound pretty good all on its own, right? Tasty. All right, let's start messing with this. All right, I like that. Let's get a little bit of noise in here. Let's audition something. Okay. Let's play with just a little bit of tuning here. Yeah, that feels good. And we can have maybe just a little touch of reverb on here. We can bypass that until we set it up in a macro. Cool. And we'll leave that bypass for the moment. All right. Let's get just a little bit of FM cooking in this thing, and it doesn't have to be necessarily audible by default, like in its starting position, but I think something in a macro would be kind of nice. All right, so we're going to take this and we'll just add this as an option on kind of higher register element here. So we'll FM from C. Okay, so here is stop. That's about 26. Let's bring this all the way down. Give it that resting point there. And we'll call this one FM. All right, and in context. Okay, and then if we really want to get spicy, saucy here, we can take an FM from A and it's just ever so slightly. It's just getting too messy. All right, we'll leave it at that for this FM part. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. Shape. Let's just augment the shape of our rhythm just a little bit. just did that backwards. So let me remove that. We'll set first. Okay, so we'll call this one pattern here. Okay, and I might actually change one more in here. I think I want this second one. Oops. I want the second one opened up just a little bit more as well. Yo, what's up, Liv? How you doing? I was starting to think that maybe Twitch was just broken. Quiet morning here. How you doing? Okay, those both feel like good choices macro-wise. Let's give this one a name. I'm not sure exactly what to call it yet. Let's just... We'll call this base. Axiom. Bit clippy that was. It was. Yeah, I'm assuming that it'll probably take a few weeks to get folks back in the routine of the midweek production streams. Okay, so now this guy. I think the flanger idea comes first, and that one go right after. No, right in front of. It's distortion. Huh. Oh, I know what I just did. See what I just did. Okay. Let's get an EQ in here. Ooh. Olivia saying, I don't think I've shared with you my recent decision to pursue a new sound in my music. No, you have not. What is this decision? What's the new sound? And do you have examples yet? And ooh, I'm excited for you. Yeah, definitely. Okay, we're going to put some space here. Stand. We'll make our last note. Okay, so we're also just going to release some of this high-end control that we've got on the room. So we're going to lift that up. Oh wait, this needs to be... Okay, so there's our room control. So back off that. Sweet. Ooh, okay, so Liv's saying, back in like 2016-ish, I discovered a song by this Japanese artist named Camellia. And almost 10 years on, I finally decided to listen to the rest of his catalog. It's become the only music that really excites me. So I'm working on building a sample library in support of that sound. I honestly don't know the genre name. It kind of combines like 6 different EDM genres. Ooh, that's nice. That seems right up your alley, too. I am not, I don't think I'm familiar with this artist. I will listen. I will listen. Can you send me one of your favorites? Just like in a DM. That's awesome. Yeah, you gotta love it when you stumble across something and you're like, oh, this is my path. This is it. Like, I am comfortable here. Okay, so I've got a little flange in there, got some room, some FM, some pattern. Okay, great. So now we can play with drive here. Okay, this guy is just getting, it's a little too wiggly down here. We gotta deal with this resonance down low. All right, so we're gonna swap that. This is gonna go down to 7. this guy will be our filter. Second. Let's think this through. I'm going to bring this down. Nah, I think I'd rather do this the other way. All right, so. All right, we'll start about here. Yeah, you know, I like the new acid ladder, and there's also part of it wants it to be a bit different. All right, I think what we're going to do actually is we're going to take macro 5. We're going to set this up as an aux control. Yeah. Still not exactly right. You know, it's the shape of the filter itself, I think. Yeah, it really does. It feels like it's just kind of the shape of the filter itself. So I think what I'm going to do, because I like the timbre that I'm getting off of the, or out of the voices from this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to route this through. And we'll just put this right before. Oh, no, it's not necessarily the shape of the filter because I'm still hearing that timbre difference here. All right, well, I'm going to leave that idea behind. Oh. Save. Let's work. Back distortion, we got fuzz done. Okay, so this guy needs to come in prior. Gosh, hold on a second. I don't know that those two can actually coexist with this sound. Go for the convolute. That right in front of. Right in front of the compression, actually. Kicks in, it's going to be rather pronounced. Okay, so it's going to be right around 35% or so. Get a layer. Okay, that's pretty transformative. That's pretty all right. The album that one opens is probably my favorite album of his. There's really only one or two songs on it I don't care for, but FO, the album immediately after, really good too. Okay, cool. Very cool. All right, so this last couple of spots here. Okay. Lastly, this one got aggressive. I was not expecting this one to get quite as aggressive as. well. Decisions. I don't know that I like that. Yo, Dave is here. What's up, Brit Boy? How you doing, man? Good to be here. Good to see you here. It's weird to be back on Wednesdays. It's fun, though. Getting back into it. Not sure what I think about this one. All right, there's a lot of different things that someone can do with this patch. Save this thing. Ba-dang. Hey. Replace, please. Thank you. Thank you. Ah. Ooh, that's right. You released something new. And we can listen to that here, can't we? Yeah. Let's go listen to that really quick. Yes. Uh-huh. I am here. Wait, did you give me permission? Let's listen.
Far away from the place I know, fading fast to a world alone. Oh, remembering your name, it keeps me alive. Your image still remains somewhere deep inside. Follow me to the end. Just believe, don't pretend. Follow me to the end of time and space, to where lives have been erased. Oh, follow me. Follow me. believe. Don't pretend. Follow me to the end of time and space, till our lives have been erased. Oh, follow me.
Yeah, I love it. Good. Love it. I kind of wish the vocals were just a little bit louder. Only because I love them. That's really good. I love the way that it flows. It's got this momentum. It's got this inertia in it. It's quite nice. Quite nice. So this is 2022. Liv saying, I can't complain about Tom too much, though. He's been absurdly helpful in teaching me how to mix better. Oh, man. It is bloody marvelous, right? Absolutely. I need to get this one too. This is absolutely fabulous. Love it. Dave says, I said bloody marvelous in my bestest British accent. Which is probably, mine is nowhere near your best. Of course. Of course. Of course, of course. What were we doing? Oh, yeah, we were making a base. And I think I just saved it. That one didn't, that one wasn't too bad. I mean, okay, so I got a little away from your typical techno. That's true. I did. So maybe we could go in and fine tune a couple of these decisions here. That 1% difference is actually quite a bit. Make it 3%. Just go over there quick and update. Not sure exactly what to call this one. I'm just going to call it transform for it. Okay, and that feels weird, so let's fix that. Let's fix that. Okay, so that should be Let's put that. Let's do this. Let's do a mid-side split, and we'll just move that guy side. Oh, that's not at all what I wanted. Let's take that out here. This bar there. That's still not what I want. Nope. I want to There. Oh, no, no. I want it there. Yes, that's where I want it. Okay, that's a little fiddly. That's a little fiddly. All right. Now let's see what that feels like. Nah, that's just too much. All right, let's put that back where it was. And let's take away that mid-side split. Or actually, let's put the convolve in just the side for just 1 second. Yeah, this is fiddly. Steve, this is fiddly. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let's take that out. We were fine. All right, so this one was for impression. I'll leave that outside the this guy on a bit, and we'll add a second control over here. All right, I think that's pretty close. We'll call that good for right now. Bong, bing, bong. Dun, 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 dun. Liv saying proceeds right now are going towards buying a new capture card because mine is dying. Though I'm worried my graphics card might not be compatible with the newest capture cards, so I don't know what I'm going to do. But everything helps. I don't know why I undermix my vocals. I just don't like super loud vocals. It just makes it sound like pop. Hey, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, everything is an artistic choice. At the end of the day, it's just like music theory. In my mind, all of these are just, they're recipes. You don't have to follow the recipe. In fact, the more you deviate from the recipe, the more you can make it your own, right? Yeah. Build your own scales, build your own mixing paradigms. Yeah. If that's the way you like your vocals, that's the way you like your vocals. "22 tracks in the pipeline currently." Whew. Liv is busy. Holy moly. Dave saying, holy moly, mind you, if you're anything like me, a fair percent of them may end up on the scrap heap, or are these past ditch it stage? Liv saying, oh no, they're all good to go. 11 more tracks from Allostasis and 11 from the following album that's already written. I'm literally in the planning stages of album 3 before having released all of album 1. That's funny. That's great. I love you, Liv. Dubzillin is here. How you doing, homie? Oh, my advice about the vocal levels? I mean, you don't have to do it just for me, just to appease me. I was just saying I really like the vocals and they can go up a little bit. That's all. But if you want to know the numbers, 22 tracks, 2 albums yet to be released by Liv. Yeah. You know what we should do? We should make your albums the intro music when they're out. So, should totally do that. Dave says, I'm suffering from a bout of digits, where the tracks with promise, but not coming together quickly enough, get perma-deleted in a fit of Brit boy grumpiness. Oh no. Oh no. You know what can solve that? is in your fit of grumpiness, instead of deleting, move it to an external drive. Move it to an external drive. And then treat yourself. Like months from now, when you've come down off the ledge and you've calmed down a bit, you can go in there and you can realize exactly what kind of gems you have. Ooh, Liv says, I started 85 Ableton projects in 2025. 9 of those became TNOAPS. 2 tracks on TNOAPS are slightly older, but fit the vibe too well to not include them. Perma deleting sounds cruel. I could never do that, says Dubzillin. You know, I say don't do it, but I delete. I just straight up don't save projects. I delete them all the time. All the time. Sounds, you guys see me do it all the time. I'm like, I'll put like 20, 30 minutes into a sound. I'm like, yeah, this is going great. This is going great. And then next second, I'm like, I'm not really vibing on it anymore. And then dunk. There's no undo button there. That preset's just gone in the wind. Although I will say, the undo feature in Serum 2, super dope. Super dope. Love that. Thank you, Steve Duda. Thank you. T-Nopes. Okay. Let me look at that again. Okay, that makes perfect sense. Also, 11 out of 85 is like best ratio ever. Or 9 out of 85. So it's... you're shooting better than 10%. So are you saying that 10% are hit makers or release worthy? I don't know. I kind of feel like you have such strong gatekeeping skills that you mostly just release like chart toppers. It's just that no one's aware of them, right? Like if they were on some label that was just pushing it constantly, everyone would be aware of it. It would be topping charts. I do feel that. I do feel that. Your stuff is redonkulous. It's stuff like that that allows humans to use the word redonkulous in 2025 and not like die of shame or be turned off immediately. Because other people around there are like, yeah, actually, yeah, I was searching for a word. Yeah. It's true. Liv saying, in 2022, when I was searching for the sound of allostasis, I started 344 projects, and 12 made the album. Yeah. Says, hey, that's super encouraging. I think it's vital to my to only release the cream of the crop, but it can be so hard sometimes. Yeah. Hey, Paul is here. How you doing, Paul? Yeah, back to work. Summer break is over. The kiddos back in school, so midweek streams are back on. It's going to take a little while for everyone to realize that it's happening, but it's happening. Happy hump day to you. Hope you're doing well over there. How have you been lately? Liv saying, I enjoy the music I make, and I enjoy adjectives like redonkulous. Yeah, it's true. Okay, so we made a base. That was fun. Maybe we should make something else. I'm not sure if I'm ready to program full art patches in this thing yet, but maybe we do an art. Sure. Maybe I'm going to think about that for just 1 second. Ooh, awesome. Paul says, doing great, crazy busy with music and videos. Hey, that's wonderful to hear. That means retirement is going well. That's awesome. Big ups, man. Big ups. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to unmute this, and I'm going to hit play on that manic weirdness that I made this morning. I'm going to go hit the bathroom really quick. I'll be right back. I'll just start it right here in the middle. It's not like you guys can track anything about what they're talking about. It's quantum entanglement, but here we go. Good luck.
Figured out what outlaws have to be. So
there should probably be a warning label on this music.
Standpoint in Alice's
I'll be right back.
will produce. Well, let's think about it. If she puts in a £2, Bob puts in a £2 too. We also got the second rule, which says that two £2 coins have to produce a rabbit and a dog. So that must mean that a £2 in Alice's box produces a dog. And then we satisfied the second rule. The trouble with that is that those outputs, inputs and outputs, violate the rules in another case. Because for a £1 and a £2, we've got this combination of rabbit and dog, but we're only meant to get that if they both put in £2. So in one time out of the 4 possible permutations, the rules are violated. And no matter how you try and do this, no matter how you try and think of different combinations, you will find that you can never do better than 3 times out of 4. Now, if you think that you have found a solution that satisfies these 3 rules all the time, in all 4 cases, it's probable that you've come up with a solution like this one. A solution in which, let's say, Alice's box alters its output depending on which coin Bob put in. There is no physical way, if these boxes are unconnected, there is nothing that passes between them. There is no physical way in which we can build a machine that does that somehow magically or telepathically knows what the other person has put into their box. So that's not going to work. However, there is a way that we can allow that to happen, which is that we produce a physical connection between the boxes that sends a signal between them, so that Bob's box, for example, receives a signal telling it what it has put into her box, and then it might alter its output accordingly. It's perfectly possible to use a mechanism like that. The trouble with that is that Bob has to wait until the signal is received from Alice's box. So until she's put in her coin, the signal has been sent. He has to wait until that happens before he puts in his coin so that his box knows what to do. That takes some finite amount of time. Even if the signal is right, it's still going to take some time to get there. So that's not going to work if we're trying to make boxes that satisfy these rules.
That satisfy these quantum laws. Yes. So back to Serum Land. What you all talking about? Yeah, BitBoy making the comment of like, mastering is such a weird art on paper. I should be able to master my own tracks, but in reality, my ear just isn't as good as someone that hasn't heard the track 700 times already. There's probably some science behind it. Yeah, you're right. Oh, man. Dave saying, I was telling my kids about you, crunching up vegetables to simulate sounds of zombies eating brains. Now they prefer you to me. Oh, man. Did you happen to let them watch the actual magic happen? I taught my kid how to make himself into a zombie and other creatures a couple of weeks ago, and he was having all sorts of fun. He thought it was just the best. Yeah. Ooh, nice, Paul. Remastering a 2016 CD, duets, and making videos for the tracks. That's fun. My blip show for the weekend of the 20th. Hey, that's rad. Rad. Wow. Flippity boop. Theater 40. Wow, working on 41. That's great. That's great. Paul bought some new toys recently. The 3 Behringer monosynths. Got Cat, Wasp, and K2. It's 20 clone. How are they? Are they pretty great, as usual? Got a new box this week. Meta module. Wow, and you got a pedal. You are going nuts over there. Paul's just buying all sorts of goodies and having all sorts of fun. That's great, dude. Big ups for you. Got your first pedal, a Zoom MS70 CDR Plus multi effects. It's over $100. That's nice. Dave's saying, I'm actually in the market for a new toy, but strangely, I don't know what I want. I just want to open a brand new shiny box. Oh man. Paul's saying meta module is my first Euro rack. You've broken the seal, my friend. Broken the seal. The cat is out of the bag. And Dora has been set free. That's awesome. Floodgates open. Yeah, yeah, it's a dangerous thing. Especially when you tell yourself something like, "Oh yeah, I don't need to keep getting them. I'll just get this one. That's fine." I think people should just be really, really like honest with themselves when they are actually swiping the card for that first one. Be like, all right, all right, all right. I know I'm about to become a junkie. Like, because I mean, to be fair, it's all of the dangerous ones all at once, right? It's like crack and fentanyl and all of that all at once in audio form. And then to make it matters worse, they put knobs on every single module, right? Because you can't help but twist knobs. Once you have knobs, you need more knobs. It only gets worse. It is so good. Uh, they will be. Oh, yes, yes. It's so true. So true. Okay, so we made a base. Now let's make something else. I'm not sure what. Let's just initialize the preset and do something, shall we? Maybe, maybe people will want. I'm assuming that I'm making some freebies here. Maybe people will want some signature OwnLab atmosphere pack. So let's do something there. And I'm not sure exactly what. Let's switch into granular mode. And we have people installing new stuff, or let's use stock stuff. Maybe we should just use some stock stuff. Loads. Do like me some horse head. Yeah, maybe. Let's not one shot that. Let's forward and reverse that, and let's get that opened up a bit. Maybe like a. Let's just slow that down. And let's just start messing with some randomness here. Spatial. Some release. Wait, what's going on here? Why am I on envelope 3? Why am I on envelope? That makes no sense. Okay. I was like, why is my release not working? That's a little better. All right, get our sustain down. K up. All right, now let's run this through some stuff. Get some drive on that. All right, so we got something low. Let's build up something big. Oh, Paul's saying board brains have a 4-channel mixer plus headphone amp module that will make the meta more performable, and also a Morpheus filter module. 4MS makes nice POD cases to make Euro rack portable and standalone. Nice. Oh. Well, it says Meta lets you create patches in VCV with only about 1/3 of VCV available, and map hardware knobs, 12 per bank and 8 banks, to the software ones for real-time playing. And Britboy says, I understood 28% of that. All right, so that's nice. Let's get something kind of shifty up top. Let's get pulse. No, let's go not spectral, but granular, and go on tone noises, and let's get I feel like the paper bag has just been done so many times. Let's see. Human fly. Laughter. Let's do this guy. And we're going to loop. And maybe we'll actually put this up an octave. And we'll just slow this way down. Some density up. We'll just force a few reversals into here. Okay, so that's all well and good. Let's get a wave table in. Go something maybe digital in here. Let's go Siri. And maybe we'll just go smooth. And maybe we'll just go down an octave. Okay, now let's just grab something random down here. Now, try again. Now, all weird and steppy. That's interesting. Now let's take this, and we're just going to move through part of this series kind of randomly. We'll just take this down 4 bar, 8 bar, or something like that, and let's now just start warping this with that through some FM, shall we? Let's filter. I'm going to move away from this horse head fiddle. So one's a little more dangerous. That's a huge. No, let's not use that one. You know, I might just drop some of my own stuff in here, so I'm not feeling like I'm working around stuff. Let's get in. Texture. The dragonfly is interesting. So is entity. Maybe I'll try entity. That's got a little resonance in it. I'm not sure about that, but let's try it. Nah, let's go with something a little bit more texture. This has got a little more of an industrial edge to it. Yeah, this is good. Okay, so this will allow us to use more voicing. So I'm going to get the unison up. Okay, and this is down one octave, so I can warp with this one as well. I know this isn't very loud, so we'll get there. Okay. Sweet. Okay, we're going to get into the spatial stuff here. We're going to use a little bit of convolution. Hmm. Um, I'm just getting caught up on chat here. Britboy's saying, I'll tell you what I want to learn. In a video game, I've heard music that seamlessly gets more excited when stuff happens on screen or calms down when the game calms down. Kind of real time composition changing. Love to set up a knob which can turn music more excited or more calm with the twist of it, but it seems seamless. Hard to put into words. Yeah, so that's one of the brilliant things about game engines, is that there's all of these conditional switches to engage with. Yeah, so what it's doing is it's blending the different layers together, and there's different velocities basically, or different intensities, and then there's values given to the range of operation for the character, and then those two correspond to one another. So as the player stands in this section of the landscape, that that value of intensity is greater. So it's now playing back music that it has more intensity. The smoothness is the crossfading, is the gradual getting there, is the attack of that crossfade that's happening. But yeah, and then there's also processes that can be in play as well to help kind of blend and gel that stuff. Because increasing saturation as you're crossfading and adding intensity can really kind of blend all of that together, because it's generating harmonics based off of all of the audio present in that moment, right? So there's some tricks that you can use to make it more and more seamless. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Britboy. And you can do the same with the tonality of a thing too, right? By stepping into a dungeon, maybe this whole thing shifts into a minor, right? And there's some really cool stuff you can do. It's more just about timing than anything to make it feel really smooth. Okay, so we're gonna get into something big here. Gosh, that's got a ton of decay on it. I'm gonna bring the size down. That was up at 25 seconds. Okay, so this feels like good industrial, dangerous atmosphere. And once you start to disclose more maybe this is our end. Yeah, that's some pretty dark stuff there. Alright, I call this one filter. Yeah, Paul, gotta update Serum, huh? Yeah, I was not able to play with it through the summer as much as I would have liked to. Okay, so we're gonna add grit. All right, let's get some additional noise in here. Let's get some randomness in here. All right, now let's control our sound with. Okay, so here's where really cool stuff can start to happen. We've got, let's see, we go into our bus, and just in this first bus, we put go back to mix, and we're just going to send our noise to bus 1. Okay, so next thing we're going to add in. Right, this is really the only oscillator that's even going to use it, so I'm just going to put it on the same. On the bright side, the computer repair boy is super cute. So just break your computer more often, right? And then call him. All right, so this one is starting to feel like it's coming into itself here. We just need to add a little extra. Okay, let's affect the speed. Yeah, okay, I like where this one's heading. This is probably really boring to listen to, so I'm going to kick off another one. I'm not sure what we call this one. Let's see here. But Call this one exit. For now. And let's go ahead and initialize this preset. And let's do some cool sound effects, shall we? Let's do like some sort of interesting... we could do some sort of downshifter kind of thing, or maybe just some sort of scrape or stinger, or maybe some cool texture swell would be kind of fun. Let's see what we get up to. All right, smooth interpolation. Let's drop this down a bit. This is dope. Okay, I like this. Let's sweep from here to here. And we'll just call this an envelope, and let's do a simple right now. And let's also just add that. Let's go in and get like a... I was going to say a sine wave, but I want something different. Yum. That's disgusting. Okay, and what if we take down this guy? Yeah, something like that. Right, now if we were to go. Slow it down a bit and set this up here. Okay, so this one has a similar. Okay, that's smooth. Okay. About distortion on this guy. Not doing what I want it to. All right, let's start playing with some delay stuff. Okay, so we're FMing from B. It'd be pretty interesting then to take pitch down. How quickly is that's going 2 bars? Let's go quicker than that. Pitch All right, we're going to move this one. And over here, just this, I'm just going to change the shape on this guy. Let's see. Start here-ish. And we'll go out seconds. Oh gosh, not that guy. Why we? There we go. Okay, now this whole big old thing, let's get a bigger delay. This one actually, timbre-wise, feels like it's probably going to go along with that bass pretty well. Okay, I have not nearly enough with weird guys here. Oh. That's kind of nice. Let's get Q on this guy and just put it way. Okay, let's bypass that. Let's put a filter in here. I'm just going to run a quick little comparison here between these two. So in the filter, get into a high pass, and let's go with a like in here. All right, so this is a shape, and then we've got this one will be filter. Right. All right, so I'm not totally sold. My use of wavetable over here. It's a fun little techno fart. Okay, and these delays, let's just up really okay. Right. Not sure what I want to do with this one next. I want it to be pitched. I'm not sure exactly what I want it to do. I think it might be kind of like a screechy, like a pitch dive kind of a thing. This will be an FX. How about just arrow now? Yo, drummer boy, how you doing? Welcome in. Happy hump day to you. Getting used to being here in the middle of the week again. How are things? Doing all right over there? Doppler-y kind of pitch thing. Yeah. I'm kind of going back and forth between a few different ideas in my head. But that right there feels right. Let's see here. We kind of want it to align well. Got a little bass. And we've also just made this one. For some Atmos. A dark industrial kind of thing here. All right, I think we should make some keys. ARP. Kind of thinking through how many sounds I want to put in this little freebie giveaway thing. Maybe like 10 sounds or something like that. We'll do 2 basses. 2 leads. 1 ARP. Think about that for a minute. This one. Oh, this was Monday. That's not this project at all. This guy. Also, what was... Oh, right. This guy playing around with the spectral stuff. Yeah, that one's fun. Oh my goodness. Drummer Boy says, it's been an interesting morning. Almost had to throw hands with an elderly gentleman on a DoorDash delivery, but their handlers intervened, so thankfully just yelling. But I didn't expect that just to deliver a burger. Oh man, that sucks. I hope your day gets better, man. Gosh. Oh, people, freaking calm down, right? All right, let's make something weird. Let's initialize this guy. And let's, sure, we can be in a wavetable. Let's go ahead and grab, what's this saw? Ripple? Okay, sure. How about we take one LFO and we start scanning through that at some kind of rate here. Sure. Okay, so then we also have... Wait, actually, not do that there. Let's do that. All right, so we're going to put that guy right. All right, and we are going to give this a little bit of unison here. Drummer saying it was an apartment complex, which I guess houses a lot of mentally ill folks. Didn't know that till I got to talking with some staff after things had calmed down. They were convinced I didn't belong there for any reason and went aggro. Next delivery was lovely though, with a very chill cat on the porch. Like, I like that the universe gave you an easy one after that. Yeah, not far from here, someone up and pulled a gun. Like they delivered again. It was something small. It was like a burger or a sandwich or something like that. And dude had tipped in the app, and dude went back to his car. Didn't like the amount of the tip in his app. Came back with a gun and demanded more. It's just like, oh gosh, man, seriously? Come on. Ugh. And of course, it gets on the news and everything. And the funny thing is that the dude that lives at the house, that's whose Ring camera, of course, caught everything, which is just like the irony of it all, right? Ugh. Yeah. All right, let's get second sound in. Go digital on this one. All right, let's make this smooth. All right, let's get just a little bit more decay on that, and then we're going to... It's just a slightly slightly shorter guy. For filter. Happy. All right, I'm going to put a sine wave over here. We're not going to hear it. Oh, you know, we have ratio tuning now. Oh, I can just like double the pitch. And we'll just see. Ooh, there we go. Okay, so we've got this spot here. I'm going to take that same envelope and we're going to punch right up. It's like a couple percent, really. Yeah, it makes it so punchy. Okay, let's get effects in here. Distortion action. That's a little. Man, having a boat in here. Nice thing. All right, we don't actually have any kind. I'm trying to see here. Comb filter in our delay unit. Let's kind of offset the timbre in the left and the right channel a bit, and restrict the frequencies. And it kind of pushes on the ears a bit. I'm going to take that out of there, actually. Let's do. Let's kill that and start scratch. You getting static over there? Okay, so now since we have these set up on two different envelopes here. I think the bode. Feedback. Hold on a second. Something inside a serum. Hey. Hey, Silver, welcome in. Yeah, I think the delay. Oh, the convolution. Weird. Yeah, there's absolutely some like refining that needs to be done with this. I'm still seeing lots of people complain about CPU usage and stuff. That was a really good example right there. Just involved not actually having audio running through it and not sitting in a like a really extreme position or anything. Yeah, it just floors the CPU. Yeah, that's too bad. That's too bad. Silver Stag saying, "Hey man, just trying to learn about sound design in general to further my music production skills." Well, welcome in. Good to have you here. We're just dinking around today. Gonna make series of videos over on YouTube on the Ghost Tech channel soon. So we're gonna plus out some Serum presets to go along with that, or to coincide with that, I should say. And we're gonna keep the theme techno on that. Okay, cool. So now that we've got this in, let's take our play with that. It's up to an 18. And just a little bit of Porto. All right. A little more distortion. Pass. Oh, I need to get the pitch wheel and the mod wheel and stuff in these too. This is starting to feel like it's taken on a little bit of character here. Let's slide up on this. I think it's this guy is the kind of mellower of the two. Let's go ahead and just slide up, and we'll go envelope. This happened pretty quickly. Put this on the course. We'll go polar, not bipolar, and we'll go up just a bit. I don't like that. All right, we're going to call that a stopping point on that one. You know, normally the names for patches just fall right out of me, and I'm typing them before I even realize what I'm calling it. And today I'm drawing like nothing but blanks. Absolutely nothing but blanks. I don't know. I call it Wiggler for right now because I just don't know. Silver Stag asking or saying, "Oh, I also noticed that in your bio it says you've made music for games. If you don't mind me asking, what's it like? How did you get into the industry?" I got into the industry. Smedley. Smedley. Hold on a second. I like that one. Smedley. Smedley. That's funny. And you know what? I should go delete the other one. Okay, so where was I? I was saying, hold on just one second. Sets. Called it. Cool. So I just kind of put myself into the industry a long time ago. I've been at it for decades, and how did it start? Um, well, on the sound design side of things, it started with me just kind of playing around with synths and stuff, honestly. And in regards to how did I start putting my stuff out there, it was a little bit different back in the day. So I was putting stuff up into licensing portfolios, but I was also spearheading a whole bunch of different creative user groups, like in the real world in a brick and mortar space. I was working in the Apple world at the time, and I was kind of a leader, if you will, amongst the filmmakers, designers, graphic designers, creative designers, musicians, composers, sound designers, etc., that were all using a computer to own their craft. And we would all meet pretty regularly and had a fair number of relationships developed that way. But more than anything, I think it was just actually putting stuff out and getting the attention of people by putting stuff out. It was a smaller playing field back in the day, of course, and this was pre big, game implementation engines and whatnot. I think a lot of it had to do with the experimental stuff that I was doing at the time, which was kind of rethinking how we went about doing certain types of processing, certain types of mixing, and certain types of sound design. So I think I kind of stood out a little left from center from other folks at the time. I don't think I did anything super magical or anything. Paul says, then you can have variants. Smedley, Smedloo, Adrian Smed. Right? And then over the years, I've kind of pioneered my own approach to a fair number of things, which has aligned well with people. And then that is how I got into teaching at a higher level, eventually at the collegiate level. And yeah, I think it helps to put yourself out there in a way that like establishes you socially, not just, and not in a social media sense, but in a perception sense, right? Establishing yourself as a production label that has a niche or an approach that is somehow unique helps, and then try to be prolific with it. So there's enough for people to find something that aligns well with them when they do discover you. Because it's really just a game of odds and laws of averages, really. I mean, there's always going to be people needing sounds. So as long as you're making sounds that are good and align with what people are wanting or needing at the time, then you're going to do pretty well. And if you stand a little bit left of center, not completely left of center, then you'll also do pretty well for that, because you're going to have something that is unique, which means you can have something that's kind of exclusive to you, and that helps create value, whatever you're building. When you're first getting started out, I'd really encourage you to join a couple of communities, or maybe just one. Get your self introduced to a handful of people who are also at a really early, young stage in their learning curve and their career path. As they grow, you can grow with them, and vice versa. And I think that's really important. You get that effect when you go to a school where you meet people at a certain age, at a certain point in your arc, your trajectory, and it oftentimes aligns with theirs because it takes a certain amount of time to achieve success. And along the way, like I said, you guys can grow together. So if they work with you on one project and things go well, they're probably going to turn to you for the next project, because how many other people in the sound design world do they even know, right? And that's oftentimes how most people get started, is with these very small relationships. You might be working on projects for free for a while because, basically a student. And then seek out mentorship. Find someone that speaks in a way that really vibes with you, doesn't make it difficult for you to grasp new concepts or complex theories and apply them in ways that are interesting to you. Yes, Silver Stag, yes. Silver's asking, so you reckon it's about getting your stuff out there and meeting other creatives through social activities? Yes, absolutely. There's the old 90-10 rule in pretty much every single aspect of business and relationships. It basically just says that 10% of the people are leaders, 90% are followers. 10% of the people show up consistently, 90% do not. 10% will continue on no matter what. They will persevere. 90% will give up no matter what eventually. And you can kind of apply that again and again and again. So if you go and you meet some people and you're really sticking with this thing, just in a matter of months, you will notice a cycle of folks kind of working their way through that community. And some of them are just looking for opportunities. Others are looking to establish themselves. Most of them will have the glitz and glimmer wear off a while after they start, and they will give up. They will move on into some totally other interest or hobby that they are considering pursuing. it's the sticking with it over time that really establishes a level of trust and shows consistency, which means other people are more willing to work with you because they have seen you stick around a while. So there's a few different elements to that, but yes, absolutely. Being there in a room with people is important because they can remember your face and your voice and make an impact on them. And if you happen to live in an area where any kind of production happens and you can meet people in the physical space, that's huge. This is huge. There isn't much of it going on anymore. So the more of that kind of, intimate connection you can make, the better. Absolutely. Drummer Boy says, keep an eye out for game jams as well. Build skills, relationships, and friendships. Yeah, that really is all it is. And as long as you don't have too much of an ego wrapped up in what you're doing and, you're a personable individual, I'm sure people are going to like you and you'll make friends. And that's really all that needs to happen. Like-minded people tend to stick together, right? That's all you really need. It's just a small band of folks initially. Thomas Dolby, still teaching scoring. How about that? Hey, Narcissus is here. Narcissus is saying, hey, I just want to throw this out there because it helped me big time. If you post consistently on socials, mostly TikTok and Instagram, but not just, hey, look what I did. Check out what other larger creators are doing in the space and tweak their strategy and engage with that community in earnest. And also, what's up, guys? What's up, Chris? How you doing? Yeah, there's so many different approaches of what you can do socially for all of this stuff. In regards to what you can do to really get your foot in the mud, so to speak, not really in the door, but in the mud. Make sure that you are not just putting stuff out there, but putting stuff out there in a way that is actually relevant. So like what Chris is saying about, find some game jams and some meetups, like all of that will show you what is relevant in the space that you're most interested in. That makes sense. So don't follow anyone's like sage advice that's one size fits all. It really will take spending some time with some folks, probably locally and online, to really kind of get your bearings and figure out what tribe you belong to, so to speak. But then when it comes to actually honing your craft, just stick with it. And perseverance is going to take time to train your ears. It's going to take time to figure out your different tools. And don't stop experimenting. Don't allow yourself to not freely experiment outside of your studying. Those are my bits of advice for you. Someone who's been around the block a few times. Yeah, Paul is saying local community college has good programs where he's at. Yeah, there's oftentimes really good resources near you. Live streams like this can really help a lot, like finding a community of people that, maybe they have like a Discord or something off to the side where you can chat, pitch collabs, keep up with folks, share files, that type of thing. Ah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're in UK, so uni's quite different. Absolutely. I feel like in general, the university system over there helps prepare you guys so much more than over here. It's all a shambles over here in so many ways. The world of education. So stick with it, and yeah, it'd be good to see you come back. Glad you found us. Drummer Boy says, I got my first gig from a friend of a friend I played D&D with. They found out I did music and had actually heard of me from other stuff I was doing. Never know what friendships will lead to work. Yeah, that is so true. And it means a lot to the folks that you will come in contact with professionally when you want to establish a personal relationship with them, right? I've gone out of my way to have regular Zoom calls with folks over the years, just to shoot the shit and see what's up, and find out about their their latest illness or their kid's graduation or whatever it is that's been big in their life. I think that kind of stuff does more, honestly, than almost anything else. So any kind of relationship you can establish early is big. I'm sure you've heard it. It's all about who you know in entertainment and media and creative stuff. It's true. It's very true. There's a lot of gatekeeping that happens, and yeah, you need to just kind of seek out some ground floor opportunities and establish really, really good relationships along the way. All right, so Chris saying, also don't give up. Just keep making small tweaks to what you're doing and trying your best. Expect crickets for a very, very long time. Yeah, I think that's fair too. I think that's fair too. I mean, the any industry has reached the saturation point at this point. And if all you're doing is applying your efforts in an online manner, sharing songs that you make in SoundCloud groups, or looking for traction in remix competitions and beat competitions, and I mean it goes on and on and on. That kind of stuff will only ever get you a very small amount of traction. What it will get you is a lot of practice in earnest. It'll get you a lot of effort practice, which is so absolutely valid and valuable. You got to fail. You got to fail a whole bunch of times. You got to make a bunch of mistakes, and you got to figure out what kind of stuff resonates with folks. But anyway, that said, if all you're doing is that kind of approach, this kind of scattershot online stuff, it's never really going to get anywhere for you, honestly. You really got to meet people. You need to put yourself out there and offer to do things. Don't just go asking how you can go about doing XYZ and getting what you need from someone, and then transactional. That's the word I'm looking for. Don't make your comments or your interactions transactional. Drummer Boy saying could also take the Undertale or Stardew route. Both those devs mostly made games in order to make music for those games, and then they blew up after a while. Easiest way into game audio is to be a dev and make a small thing to make sounds and music for. Yeah, true. One way that you can go about doing this, if you're not in an area where you have like a local game dev crew or something like that that meets up regularly, you can go onto Twitch and you can look and see who's working on a game, right? Join their community, introduce yourself. See if there's any, see if there's any hopping sounds or melee attack sounds or anything that they need, and then grow from there. It can literally be just as simple as that. You're watching someone stream, you have an idea for a cute sound, go and you make that sound. Then you drop it in an email to them and let them know in the chat. Just say, hey, maybe way off base here, but want a sound for that? I just made this thing. I think it's cute. It might align for you as well, and see what they think. But not many people are going to do that for that person ever. So you're going to stand out in their memory. So when they do need something, that thing you made and sent them, stuck in their brain too, then they're probably going to turn to you for something. Yeah, those definitely stay in the muted messages tab. Oh, Paul, it was good to see you too, homie. It was good to see you too. We got the small crew today, midweek. It's nice to ease back into the production streams. Yeah, I'm not so sure that I would encourage a lot of people to go and take on a lot of debt right now in college. That is for sure. I think that there are so many red flags in front of us right now uh, in regards to the job market. Yeah. Careful, careful with your decision making with money right now. Ah. Oh wow, this has said immersive soundscapes all day. And that's definitely not been what we've been making. But I have no idea. We'll just call it Serum 2 then. Pretty misleading. Music Dan, welcome in. Or is it Music Dawn? Welcome in. Happy hump day to you. Happy Wednesday. Is Serum recommended? It is. Yeah, you use Vital. Vital is also good. Serum just recently had a big upgrade from Serum 1 to Serum 2 and added a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm sure that Vital will be adopting some of that stuff eventually. But right now, yeah, it's definitely ranking as one of the big super synths right now. If you're someone who does a lot of your own sound design and likes to go deep, then yeah. Hey, look at that. There's a little chat reunion. How about that? You started producing again. How long was your break? Squid Pie? Squid Pie Meow Face, how you doing? Happy hump day. I'm not sure that I saw you all summer. Did I? Stopped for 2 years or so. Whew, yeah, that's a bit, huh? Hey, excellent. Got yourself a vacation. Nice. Good to hear it. Very nice. Yeah, I did not do production streams all summer, so I haven't done a midweek stream in a few months. Just stuck to the Friday streams. Well, Music Dan, welcome back to the mix, and I hope that you're feeling inspired and well rested. Almost 3 years. I'm sure you've got some stuff bubbling inside of you after that much time. Saying just started a techno track, but I'm kind of stuck on it. I want to take a listen and help me out. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we could do that. I wrap up here before too long. FL had many updates. Yeah. Yeah, some stuff happened while you were away. Yeah, man. Like big stuff. Big stuff. Yeah. Yeah, like buying UVI. What? Yeah. Oh, here, let's click in here and see what you've been up to. We like whips here. We can help you more if it's a whip. All right, I think a counter element of some kind would probably work well in the intro, and then that could be reprised just minimally throughout. I think I like that sample at 45 seconds or so. I think the rumble is a bit big. It's kind of all-encompassing and dominant. I'd bring it back and make it a bit more of an ambience kind of an element, more of a mood setter, atmosphere kind of thing. Also, I think I'd audition a different kick for this one, something that has just a little bit more of an aggressive profile to it to keep pace with that rumble. The rumble's pretty present. And then ear candy, wanting some little techno whatevers flying through the background. Um, use the stereo field, use active panning modulation to really grab our ears. But just general ear candy, just general use of transitions and stinger type content, little zaps. Agent? Yes. Yeah. Less volume in the rumble, by a fair bit, maybe like 10 dB or so, and see how that sits. But I think you got something going here. And it's always fun picking everything back up after being off for a few years. It's all got to feel so exciting and loose and klutzy and clumsy. Yeah, I think some perk-like things. I bet it feels good. Yeah, a perk rhythm of some kind would help kind of bring a level of momentum to this. This kind of feeling of forward momentum. But just in general, I think it can be little blasts, stabs, swells, sweeps, that type of ear can. For this type of rumble, I can hear like these little percussive fills that are kind of thwacky. So it would be a drum head that involves a stick, and it could even be like a battery instrument. It could be something like ooh, what are those? What are the stick brushes called? You guys know what I'm talking about? But like just on the side of like uh, almost any tight skin hand drum that isn't too big in diameter, so it stays fairly flat and doesn't ring for too long. But something like that would be kind of cool. Get this kind of thwacky, multi-timbral kind of thwack, thwack, thwack kind of thing in the background. Think about the kind of impact that you would want a perk element to have, right? Probably not very soft in this. It's probably going to be something kind of agitated and edgy. It's probably going to need to stick out all on its own, so it doesn't need a lot of extra processing or anything, but it definitely is going to have a little bit of grit, right? Because it needs to sit up on top of that rumble. With a rhythm? Hmm. Here, let me point to where I hear like a fill. Yeah, just like tiny little things. There can also just be uh, little swells or embellishments that are synthetic, right? So it can just be a voice, a timbre that resonates with you and have absolutely zero to do with the actual composition, with the arrangement. It's just an embellishment. So if you're playing around in one of your favorite synths, um, and you've got let's say like a stab sound that you like, play with the attack value on that, or the attack parameter in the envelope, and make that more of like a softer swell kind of a thing. kind of a thing, right? And if it sounds cool, maybe start it on the left and pan it to the right and put a little reverb on it, right? So now it feels like something was just in the air, like it just kind of went right past us. You know what I'm saying? Um, but the timbre might be something that you would mentally align more with like a stab kind of a sound. So stuff like that is really fun because it pushes against expectations and it sits in kind of that experimental, industrialish kind of mindset that works so well with techno. The open space is nice. Yeah, and you don't want to fill all of the empty space. You definitely want a less is more approach. So we're talking a very small number of embellishments for the whole track, not a constant cacophony of sound or anything. Just a couple of small things. Drummer Boy saying maybe not the right flavor, but one of those Indian perk drums or a doumbek. You know, a doumbek would be good if you had like something that you can kind of thwack on the side. Uh, a djembe would also, well, maybe that would be a little bit too tonal. But I can even see how like something like a cuica could even work, right? And instead of using the head as this thing that you're pushing to create pitch bends on the bamboo shaft, instead you're actually just using the head and you're just thwacking against it or something like that. Yeah, it doesn't have to be anything traditional. What about the buildup? What do you think of that? I felt like there could be more to it. I think that the sample that you've got in there is great, but I think that the feeling of tension and anticipation that comes from elements like risers and suckbacks and reversals, so whether they're long form or short form, they do some form of foreshadowing, which creates this kind of anticipation, this excitement, this tension in us, which is immediately released upon discovery, right? At the other side of that transition. So I would say something as like a small precursor in that little transition area. Pringles can. Ooh, Drummer Boy. That's a good one. Especially if you've got some clever processing on the Pringles can. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not a lot more sweeps, Dan, but a couple of things to create a sense of motion and momentum. And if you feel like any of your points of transition or change doesn't have like the kind of smooth interaction you're wanting, then move one of those little bits of ear candy to that point of transition and see if it helps. Kind of help bridge the gap a little bit, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Congrats again on getting back to music. It's got to feel great. Got to feel great. That's a lovely thing. Also, we're going to be putting out a little series of kind of how-to techno videos over on the Ghost Hack channel here shortly. If you're looking for inspiration, whatnot, you're getting back so freshly. Oh yeah, yeah. Drummer makes a good point. The mileage I've gotten out of a bag of rice as an unconventional shaker sound is wild. Oh yeah, and just having spent so many years in kitchens, the things that you put the rice inside of is just as important as the rice. And then also the different types of grains, because you wouldn't believe the profound difference between rice and oats, for instance, especially over time. Um, yeah, or like millet. It's such a small grain. You get this kind of sandy kind of responsiveness inside of an egg, or like if you put two ramekins together, or two little containers of some sort, just like tape them, and then if it's big enough, you can kind of slosh them around like two small mixing bowls, like two little metallic or plastic or ceramic mixing bowls. Fill them up with some seeds, put a cap on them, spin them around, shake them in different ways, put them through some impulse responses. Yeah. Hey, Tumpa's here. How you doing, homie? See, a few people ended up finding us on a Wednesday. It took a few minutes this morning. People haven't seen me streaming in the middle of a week for months. Excellent. Excellent. Go work on that track. Go have fun. Do that. We'll be putting out some free samples, some free presets around those videos too. And I think that I'll probably be creating well, whatever is created, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Whatever I create in the tutorials, I'll probably kick down one or two of those presets with each video. So, yeah. So it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. Tomba! Oh, you know what we did? We just listened to a track, but I'm actually gotta head out because it's been a long stream. I've been at it for over 3 hours at this point, so I'm gonna go stretch the legs, refresh my water, maybe dip back into these presets. Maybe not. I think I might actually mix some music. I think that's what I'm gonna do the rest of my day. I think I will be mixing some music. What I'll do. Tomba, you're always late. What, you got a life or something over there, man? You know what, though? We're only 2 days away from Feedback Friday. Ooh. Yeah, go drop it in the queue. Go drop it in the queue, unless you're going to work on it again. Just put the most recent one in front of me, and I'll give you good feedback. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, I have a life, yes. There's that. All right, I'm going to go over here and see who's doing their thing on Twitch right now. You guys stick around. We'll go visit them. Who's it going to be? Let's see who's right now. Hey! Snacks is up. We're going to go visit Little Bat Snacks. Although this is not, she's not in Portland anymore. It's down in LA now, I think. Hey, we're going to go see what's going on. It's a work in progress Wednesday. Okay, so as usual, I appreciate you guys, and I hope you stay quite inspired over the next couple of days, and bring whatever you're working on Friday, to Feedback Friday. I look forward to hearing you then. Until then, know that you're appreciated, and I will see you on the flip. Let's go see what she's up to. Peace out, y'all.